If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the rant, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 299th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz, and I am the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how are you doing?
Dude, I might have talked about this last week. I don't necessarily remember everything I always say on this show, unless it means I'm right. But I started a seasonal job doing deliveries for Amazon. It's called Amazon Flex. So I started doing that last Wednesday, and I'm quite a few shifts in, and I actually enjoy it. It's fun. And I tell people, my friend delivers packages for a living, and I tell them, it's only fun for me because it's only 3 hours a day, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't have to do it. If I don't want to do it one day, I can just quit doing it. Like,
there you go.
All the shifts that I've done, I could stop doing it and never do it again. So I think the lack of actual pressure on me, and it's like I get to go drive around, see parts of the city I haven't seen before. It's a really cool. It's a really fun experience. I've seen some people from high school, and people are like, "Oh, well, I told my friends I was doing it, and it's funny. First thing they say, "Oh, Floyd, you have money problems?" I'm like, actually, I can't. I'm not gonna say, yeah, I got plenty of money or anything like that. Well, honestly, I was just kind of bored. I would get up in the afternoon, and I would sit there, and I kind of, on my overnight job, I do a lot of my TV and movie watching, but I'd sit there, and we just chill, and then I'd go eat something because I was bored or not doing anything, and it just seemed like I was waiting for work to come around, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I can just work a little 3-hour shift, go deliver sling some packages, and make a little money on the side, and I can just use that money to for my spending money in Japan, and that way it doesn't come out my monthly budget, and it's just like extra money. But it's so funny. Every person I've told doing that literally went to the like, you must be broke, and I'm like, I'm bored, bored, not broke. I'm like bored, not broke. Life had just gotten a little tedious, so I was like, oh, let me try something different. Like I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and during my free time. And they've talked about I've listened to podcasts talking about different revenue streams and things like that. So when the Amazon thing came up, I was like, well, let's just see if I apply. So, see if I got accepted, and I did. And it's been fun. Yesterday was like the weirdest one is I went out to basically middle of nowhere, and it's a farm. And if everybody knows, I say I'm from Oklahoma, but I am a city boy as a person from New York. I don't know any. I've never really even been on a farm. I've never done farm work, any of that shit. So I go up, and the special instructions on it said leave it at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? It just says leave it at the bottom. Like, leave it at the bottom of the steps. Leave it at the bottom of the driveway. It just says leave it at the bottom. And I am genuinely confused. I'm like, and I'm not a very, I don't get confused easily. I'm genuinely confused. So I drive up in there, and they have cows, and they have horses. And I get out the car, and dude, when I say there was 15 dogs, I might be underestimating. I am doing my best not to overestimate. And they see me, and they come running up towards me.
Yeah.
And at first, and then they just like, so I just kind of sit in my car and don't really shut the door, but just kind of see, they're all like super friendly, but they're all barking and whatever. So I go deliver to put the package on the steps, take my picture and roll off. Dude, this is how you know you're on the farm. Like, I was in that area for maybe 2 minutes. Dude, there was like 40 bugs that either jumped off the animal or whatever. I don't know if it was ticks or whatever it was. It was just like, because like I said, I'm a city boy. I don't know what this shit is. So I got the fuck out of there. And, but yeah, like I said, it might be weird to say I've been having fun doing it. Like I said, seasonal. So I think it'll be over at the end of it. And, my last day doing it will be probably a couple days before I leave for Japan. So I can have my spending money in Japan, but having a good time. And if anybody's interested in doing it, again, you use your own car, you put the packages in your own car, and you go out and deliver them. But it's called Amazon Flex. You just download the app. If they're taking applications in your area, they'll let you apply. I'm not by any means promoting it or advertising. I'm just telling you in case you're interested or need some extra money, that's what you can do. So I've been having a good time that way, and it's like it makes days feel shorter. Because I literally go out and I do it the 3 hours. Then I come home, and it's pretty much time for me to eat dinner and then go to my, my shoot job, as the people say, my actual job. So it's kind of crazy in that way. But yeah, it's interesting. So I look a goof and gorse in the mouth. I'm very fortunate to be able to do this, to have the car and all that stuff to be able to do it. But yeah, it's been fun. So that's what's up with me. And then I'm 9-1 in my fantasy league. And by my fantasy league, I mean my biggest, the one that means the most to me. I've been in it for, I think we're at 18 years now. I've only won it once. I'm 9-1, and the next team that that like number 2 has 4 losses. So I'm like a game away from clinching the first round bye. It's like, I'm dominating this league. I am 100% sure I'm going to lose in the first round of the playoffs now.
It always goes.
Yeah, it's like, I'm 100% sure we're going to get to the first round of playoffs, and then all my teams are just going to like sit their starters, and I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm fucked.
Yep. Well,
how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. I've been enjoying my last 2 days off. I got to go to see the Pistons play, which was awesome. They got their teal jerseys back. They're badass.
Did you get one?
Well, here's the great part about it. So a couple years ago, I tried to get when they brought the teal jerseys back, like the real teal jerseys. These ones are kind of a variant. They brought the real ones back, and I wanted Jaden Ivey's, who we just drafted that year. Website, couldn't find it for months. It was fully out of stock, and I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for it to eventually come back, and eventually it did, and I snagged one, but I was like, I ain't dealing with that one again, because this time I wanted Cade, and I knew everyone was going to go and try to get that one. So I was like, immediately, even before I knew I was going to the game, I was like, I'm pre-ordering that right now. So I got mine. It's ordered. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll go to the game and go to the team store and be like, hey, I ordered this online. Can I just pick it up now? You know what I mean? Because it's through the team. Like, it's through the team store, just their online website. They weren't even selling his jersey at the game. They just had a coming soon thing for him. Every other player on the team was getting their jersey sold except for Cade's, because they knew they could hold on it, I guess. But no, game was fun. And Yeah, I'm just enjoying myself right now. Got to catch up on. I didn't get to see Blood and Guts live because I was at the game, so I watched it back today. And holy shit, I got a lot of thoughts on this one. So it's gonna be fun to talk about all of it.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's effing go.
Let's fucking go. Yeah. So of course, Blood and Guts just wrapped up a couple of nights ago when you guys are hearing this. So we're gonna get into everything about that. Before we get into that, though, we want to make sure you guys continue to support our show by downloading it on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to us on. Rate, review, subscribe. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Turn automatic downloads on. And follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other podcasts they've got on their network. They got some great guys and girls that do good work here. I'm at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees to get a t-shirt and sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links in the description of the show. Big news of the week, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It's that time of the year already. They have released their Women's 250 list, and AEW had a lot of representation in this list. More than anything, the 1 and 2 spot went to AEW girls, and it's fucking awesome. So we're going to go ahead. Floyd's got the list and can go through right now all of our AEW representation in this list.
So, remember, so Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm are the cover. I went ahead and got my 250 magazine on the way.
Right.
So make sure you go to PWI and get your copy to support the women of AEW. But when I was looking at the list, we got, of course, we already went over 1 and 2. Then we had Athena at 7. So the forever ROH champion Athena. Let me say her full name.
Damn straight.
The current AEW Women's Champion Chris Statlander was at 16. Mina Shirakawa 26. Willow 27. Windsor at 32. You gotta be real. Most of Windsor's was pre-AEW because I think the thing was from October to October.
Yeah.
Megan Bain at 33. Tekla at 46. That's mostly Stardom at that point. Queen Amanada at 47. Persephone from CMLL, who's worked in AEW at Forbidden Door. She was at 51. Red Velvet's 52. Jamie Hayter's 54. She was injured a lot of the year, so it might be why she's that low. Marina Shafir's 68, which I thought was low. Because if you go by, she did not have a lot of matches, right?
No.
But she's literally on AEW Dynamite every week.
That's very true.
You can't, I was talking about this yesterday with JR. I was talking about Marina and Willa Yuta. I'm like, are there 2 more people that are used more in the company than Marina and Willa Yuta? They're on the show every week, and then they're on ROH every week. They are used quite a bit.
Yep.
Mayu Yamashita, 72. Bozilla, 78. Trisha Dora, 87. Thunder Rosa, 96. She was injured most of the year. Billy Starks, 98. Deonna Purrazzo, 99. Nyla Rose, 134. Julia Hart, 135. Anna Jay, 144. Serena D, 146. And Miss Layla Gray rounds out the list at 242. I love the AEW representation. I think that was 20. I was like right at 20 or whatever. But to me, there was a glaring omission. And I went and checked the period of time, the period of time, double checked, did Control F again. So if I am making a mistake on this, I own it, but understand it wasn't for a lack of effort. I did Control F on the list, put in Sky. I went to Cage Match, and Sky Blue was not on the list. And she was hurt, but she has been back since May. And she is joined a faction in the tag team tournament, heavily featured on TV. Honestly, of the people that I see in the 100s, I don't see anybody that's used more than her. Like Serena Deeb's 146. And
Right.
I would say, and just no insult to Serena Deeb, I'm just going on facts, matches, that stuff on TV, I feel like Sky Blue was more featured than her.
I agree. As someone who loves Serena Deeb, I would agree with that.
Yeah, so so again, I am always leaving open the idea, because what I have done is I have went to people that have listed it out and then like Control F on it. So I might have just missed it. But when I did Control F, Sky Blue, I just did SKY just in case I was missing anything. And yeah, her name did not come up when I was seeing it. And I was like, that seems like a omission.
Just a little bit. Like, again, AEW really had a lot of this list held together. Like, really, like, honestly had.
No, dude, this is an amazing showing.
Yeah, so, like, it was a great year, honestly, for AEW to get all of these incredible athletes represented in this list. Like, it's genuinely amazing. So
just think about it. Rio, you're not really used. She wasn't on the list. Hikaru Shida's wasn't on the list. I mean, these people, weren't on TV a lot. Britt Baker is not used and not on the list, even though she's healthy. And it's just like, you got a lot of talent there that's also not on the list. So it's like, it could even been deeper in a different year with, a healthier group. It could have even been different. So I am very happy with the 250. I was just like, but the thing that I came away with it, because I literally have no real other arguments. Maybe Willow might have been a little higher, but from the 250 that I saw, it was just like, where's Sky Blue? That's the question that I had.
Yeah, but shout out though. I mean, like, again, it's huge for the women's division. Since the beginning of AEW, we talked about how much we want this women's division to be a key part of AEW television, and it took some time to get to where we wanted it to and we expected it to be at. But I mean, a combination of what we got tonight with the women's first ever Blood and Guts match, and just the work they've done with the tag team tournament right now that's going on. Some great work with the women that are holding the singles titles as well. Like, it's been fun to see this growth in the division, and it's like the best it's ever been, truly.
Yes. And I did a special person on, this is outside of the AEW list. She hasn't worked for AEW yet or any of the AEW promotions, but I have known her since she was very young. I met her at WrestleMania. Was it 33? Was in Orlando? In a line at WrestleMania 33. And that's Miss Izzy Moreno. Some people might know her as the Bailey girl, the crying, Sasha, Mercedes or Sasha made her cry or whatever. But she has been working the indies for a couple years now, and she works New York, Texas, Florida. But yeah, Izzy, friend of mine, friend of the family or whatever, and I was very excited to see her in the 250. She works her ass off to be in there, and I was very, very happy to see her on there.
Cool moment for her.
Yeah, because she used to actually was doing media for AEW for quite a few shows, and the NXT and just like, but then she just said, okay, I'm putting the media stuff, I'm putting the YouTube, she put it kind of all behind her and just went full head on into wrestling. So the reason I bought the magazine, as much as I love my AEW ladies, I mean, I always say I don't have a lot more room for souvenirs, but I bought this one because this is Izzy's first time in it. So
huge.
I thought that was pretty cool for her and get her to sign it and all that shit. But shout out to her. Hopefully she'll be in one of the big companies within the next few years. She's still early in her wrestling career, so she has, ways to go. But yeah, I could see her definitely being in AEW or WWE one of these days. But shout out to all the women that made the list, all 250, even if I didn't say your name, all 250 women that made the list. Congratulations. Like I said, I'm just very excited and happy about the AEW representation, because if you look at the list, there are a lot of young people on this list from AEW that should be, in our thought process, should be very much represented on this list for years and years to come.
100%. 100%. With that out of the way, though, we can go ahead and get into Blood and Guts. And the show opened up with the first of the two matches of the night, the women's Blood and Guts match. So,
okay.
AEW World...
we say we're going to do it. We got to get on it. How did this not go on last, Tony?
We said it.
We said it.
But going into it.
Like, how did this not go on last? Now.
And here's the thing. This was the better of the two, I feel like.
Oh, dude. I think it was, I thought the men's was, to me, and we'll get to it, mostly boring. And then that last 10 minutes just rocked. I thought the women's was excellent all the way through.
Yeah. It was fun. Like, it was like a combination of, because that's the thing. We know what we're getting with Blood and Guts. We know it's going to be violent. We know it's going to have some gruesome spots, but it was fun too. Like, everyone was getting to do cool shit, and like everyone got their little like character moment in there too. It was fun. So yeah, again, of course, Women's World Champion Chris Statlander, Timeless Toni Storm, Harley Cameron, Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, and Jamie Hayter teaming up to face TBS champion Mercedes Moné, Megan Bayne, Marina Shafir, and the Triangle of Madness, Thekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. Match opened with Sky Blue and Willow leading things off, and Sky Blue very quickly turned into Red Blue, or Crimson Blue, or Sky Red or Sky Crimson, whichever you prefer to say. And like, I mean, from the combination of her getting pounced into the steel of the cage, I loved as soon as this match led off, we knew very quickly onward that Sky was going to get helped by her Triangle of Madness teammates, with Julia coming out next for them, and then Thekla was the next one out too. Like, I will give Sky a ton of credit. She bled. She bled for this match big time. Like, big time. And it was really cool to see. Harley comes in looking fucking badass. There was a great moment where she got thrown into Julia Hart, who was in the Tree of Woe and had a chair against her, and she drop kicked it, which was fucking sick. She was getting whipped as well by Thekla, who came in with a belt and started whipping Willow and Harley repeatedly, which looked like it sucked. But honestly, the best run-in from the jump, like someone who came in and made an impact immediately, was Jamie Hayter, who ran in and had a bag of tacks and just slammed the first person she saw, and they went fucking flying. Like, it was crazy. And then Megan Bayne, this woman was a monster. I honestly respect the way that she came in and just controlled the match from the moment she entered. It was really, really cool to see. Chris Statlander would then come in later. She got hit with a freaking chair as soon as she got in. And she came in with a pool cue as well to slam that over somebody's back. And Queen Aminata was also there, which is cool to see that she was still there since she couldn't compete in the match. She was able to chase Penelope Ford, who had her arm in a sling. She chased her to the back to keep her from getting involved with the match. There was one point where I felt so bad for Harley because she took a trash can lid, tried to hit Megan Bayne with it, and she was like, bitch, what? And turned around. I was like, no, my girl needs to run. And then Mercedes comes in. I loved her outfit before she came into the show, like the white and red blood all over it. There was a great moment where she DDT'd Chris right under her own belt. Mina coming in was fun. She teamed up with Chris Statlander, getting some work in there. And there was a great moment where Mina does her shimmy, and Chris is against the ropes being like, yeah, me too. I'm hurting so badly. This hurts so much. Then all of a sudden, Marina Shafir comes in, and she just immediately pulls out the bed of nails. Chris tries to stop her from using them, but she ends up getting dropped onto the bed of nails. Does not work out too well for her. And then Timeless Toni Storm, losing her mind, and her mental state is getting worse and worse. Basically what had her Joker arc with the face paint and the makeup she had. Was really cool to see. Her trying to box with Marina Shafir made me laugh, honestly. It was just a funny moment. And then, of course, we got the great moment. Puppet Monet made an appearance, which I loved. But she was just there to mask that Harley Cameron had a pair of brass knuckles hidden. So as soon as she got rid of the puppet, she's like, yes, you've fallen into my trap, and then just got clocked in the mouth with brass knuckles. The wildest part, though, was when Thekla and Julia Hart used their small stature to sneak out of the the standings of the cage. They get to the outside and then take the key, basically, takes the ref out, takes the key, and then proceeds to remove members of the match. So they take out Chris Statlander, and they take out a few other girls. There is a point where they're tied up in the side, like basically in one of the railings of the cage, and that's when Mercedes is able to do her Meteora through the table, basically. Well, no, she gets back body dropped actually through the table by Chris Statlander. But the problem is then the glass gets introduced by our one and only girl, Toni Storm, with the broken bottle. She then gets a mirror and gets it smashed right into her fucking face. Tried to throw it against her in the Marina Shafir in the corner, and she just picked it up and fucking hit her with it. And it looked vicious. Like, it was so... That was probably the spot of the night for the hit. Just got it straight at her. Like, the explosion of the glass was insane. I give Willow a ton of credit for the superplex onto the apron to Mercedes. That shit looked like it hurt. But the match eventually ends with goddamn Mina Shirakawa getting hit by glass taped to Marina Shafir's foot, and they torture her, just beating her down and repeatedly hitting her with the women's championship or the TBS championship while she's getting put in this submission by Marina Shafir. Every other girl on the heel side has Toni just locked down, and she's just got to watch it happen. And it's Toni who she quits. She basically calls it off right there. She quits for her team, and the heels get the win. Really good moment character-wise of Toni stepping up, for, like, just trying to just protect Mina Shirakawa, and she's the one, obviously, that takes the fall. But Mina didn't quit herself. I honestly thought it was a nice move to have Toni just be heartbroken and just be the one that says, like, stop hurting her. Like, let her go. We quit. Again, every woman in this match got time to shine. I thought the fact of the heels being able to take out a good majority of the members out of the cage and leave Toni helpless was a really cool moment. And yeah, they started off the night with a bang, and it also wasn't too long. I feel like there was a lot of instances where these types of matches can go on for too long, and I felt like the length was right. It didn't go too long. It wasn't too short. I thought it was really well done. And shouts out to everybody. They fucking killed it. I don't know. Was there anything specifically, Floyd, that you wanted to touch on that I didn't?
Okay, yeah. I was just going to go. First of all, I have decided that there's a title queen of the AEW Deathmatch. And I think when it comes down to it, it's either Willow, Chris Statlander, or Sky Blue.
All three of those girls, I feel like, were the big winners of the match.
It's like Sky Blue, I thought was the MVP of the match, just how much she bled.
There's a point where she screamed, "This is my match.
This is her match." When you look at wrestling and you start off young and you don't know who your character is, you don't know what you're become. And when I saw Sky Blue, plucky Sky Blue, told she got a contract from Tony Khan at All Out, or I was there for that moment, which is awesome. And I was like, oh, this plucky girl. Oh, hey Floyd, in 5 years she's gonna be like a deathmatch person. Nah, bro, nah. What are you talking about? What are you high? Like, is this alternate? that tiny innocent looking woman there is going to be like a deathmatch person, and she's going to bleed buckets anytime there's a match. Yeah, sure. No, you're full of shit. Okay. And here we go. Willow.
Yeah, here we are.
Willow. Hey, smile. Everything's going to be, nothing matters. Everything's going to be okay. Oh, yeah, but when the match rings, she's like one of the most violent people ever. Huh, that tracks. Now, Chris Statlander, if you told me she was going to be super violent, I'd have bought that one. Okay, that's the other two are surprising.
She's got that side to her, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Statlander, yeah, she seems a little, she seems a little nuts. She has that look in her eye, like she could go. No, but I just really thought, as a showcase for the women, this was amazing. I think everybody had a moment in the match. You had the Harley with the brass knucks, how they brought Marina in. Everybody brought a weapon in. Marina didn't. She's a Death Rider. Marina is the weapon.
Putting her feet in glass and then stomping on it.
She stomped her taped, basically barefoot in glass just to put someone else in pain. Dude, that was fucking awesome. Megan Bain, when she came in, just looking like a monster. I'm like, whenever they put the title on Megan Bain, which is going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
And I know it.
I will say the one thing I forgot to mention, too, that I loved was having all of Mercedes' belts outside the cage, and she went in and brought all of them in. She was bringing them in one by one into the ring to use as a weapon, which I thought was fucking funny.
Handing them out to each individual person.
Everyone gets a belt to hurt somebody.
Dude. And you know who the people, how you can tell on these matches who they believe in most? Willow and Sky were the first two in there. You know what I mean? It was just
exactly.
You knew they were going to be able to be in there a long time. That is very much a vote of confidence. I love that Aminata and Penelope, who were supposed to be
they still got involved. Yeah,
they still got on the show. They still mattered. Man, but literally, if you look at every individual person got their moment. Tekla looked awesome. It's Tekla. Looks awesome. Julia, some of the double team spots that they did. There was one where someone was in the corner, and I think it was Megan Bain just threw the chair at her face. It was like, what the fuck? I'm dude, when people rate matches, and again, this kind of match I don't think belongs on the star scale. I don't. I just think when you have these type of matches, it should just be I enjoyed it or I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if you star rate it, do what you want. But it was just so many awesome points. This match was great from the beginning to the end. Whatever they do next, this was kind of thrown together. We complained about it. But dude, in execution, oh my God, A+ execution. If I was gonna give a rating, at least 5 stars. Everybody looked great. This is the point of this match, and you think you still have Mina and Tony in the tag team tournament, right? So you got Tony giving up for Mina, and then in a post-match promo says we only do 2 things well, and that's she said fight and fuck, or fight and have sex and fight. Either
Something
way,
like that, yeah.
Either way, at the end you're fucked. So I feel like this is building up to them two being in the finals of the tournament. And it's not like a prediction. It just feels like that's where it's going. And I just thought elevating different feuds. You get Mercedes out the ring. You get Chris out the ring. The bad guys with the advantage take advantage of that advantage. I thought this was, in a lot of ways, you got the weapons, you got all that stuff, but this was a traditional, formerly named War Games, but Blood and Guts match, perfectly executed. Who I imagine there was a lot of help in putting this all together, and I thought it was put together beautifully. Definitely my match of the night. It's gonna be on my specialty match of the year list on our year-end awards. I just had such a great time on this match.
Oh, yeah. It was so well done. So well done. We go into the next part of the show where we go ahead and have the Don Callis family jumping Jurassic Express in the back, in the parking lot area. Jungle Jack, Perry, and Luchasaurus trying to fight their way back. Okada comes out of the trailer and has the Young Bucks to see what just happened, and basically goes like, "You don't mess with family," and proceed to like showcase like, "Hey, look, look what we did to the guys that you hate, and we know Kenny Omega is going to be here next week. Maybe we can send him a message, and you'll join the Don Callis family." And Okada just pointed to his watch and said, "Decision time," and basically said, "See you guys next week." So Bucks aren't exactly sure what they're going to do, but they have to make a decision next week. Will they join the Don Callis family or not? And with Kenny Omega coming back, we will find out next week in that 3-hour special in Boston.
Dude, the Don Callis family is probably my favorite thing in AEW right now. Don Callis is literally like playing the devil character.
Yep.
And, and it's, as we're transitioned from Death Riders being the number one heel faction, having the Don Callis family there is great. Young Bucks' reluctance to actually join the family only makes sense because they've been under the thumb of Don Callis before. They don't want it to happen again, but they're kind of put in a situation where they need them. So, yeah, and then, Jurassic Express getting beat up. It's like Don Callis he is the devil in every movie you ever seen. I'm doing all these favors for you. I've got your entrance fixed. Oh, you got a private car. And now we took out your enemies. Man, we're doing this all for you. The bill's gonna come soon, dude. Soon. Maybe next week. I doubt before Fool get here because they're in a match. But that bill's gonna come due soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be coming soon. I can tell you that much. We go right into the second match of the night, the Falls Count Anywhere match between Hangman Page, the AEW World Champion, and Powerhouse Hobbs. And I thought this was fun. I thought this was a pretty damn good match. I loved how Hobbs was able to get some work in this match. I mean, he looked crazy. I loved especially the part where he body slams Hangman on the announce table, screaming, "It's your fault, Shivani." Slams him on the table and then proceeds to just stare daggers into him and then walks up the steel steps and drops him there. And it just fucking looks vicious. Like that bump looked like it sucked. But don't worry, Hangman's like, "I took a shitty bump. I'll give you a shitty bump." Fucking flips Hangman flips Powerhouse Hobbs from off of the table on his fucking ass. I thought his tailbone would have broken or something. Like that shit looked like it sucked because he bounced. He fucking bounced off the floor and then gets clotheslined over the railing, and then they go through the crowd basically. They start fighting their way through the crowd, and trash cans get brought out there. Hobbs spine busters Hangman through a table, and then they go up through the crowd, and eventually that's when Hangman gets up in the crowd, takes his boot off, runs at Powerhouse Hobbs, and knocks him off of the railing by the fans onto a bunch of electrical equipment, and it explodes. It's a great, honestly, really well done gimmick spot. Lights start flickering in the arena as well, and that's when he gets the pinfall to get the win. He's celebrating in the ring, and we'll talk about that immediately afterwards, but the match itself was a fun one. I feel like there wasn't really too much in terms of like the in-betweens. It had like maybe 3 or 4 spots that were like really like focused in on, but I feel like it didn't overstay its welcome. It was really well done. I loved how Hobbs looked vicious in it too. The moment, like I said, the stare down at Shivani, I thought was a really good touch too. Cause I mean, dude, Hobbs is so fucking intimidating. And it took Hangman basically nearly killing this man onto a bunch of electrical equipment to beat him. So I thought it was well done. And I think these two could absolutely wrestle each other again in just a basic singles match or in a different kind of match. And it would be very entertaining. I think there's room for these guys to keep working against each other. I love me Hobbs, man. I was disappointed that we didn't get some chances for Meat Chance That was the only thing I would have
They
wished.
set it up at the beginning of the show, and the people didn't get the minimum. Because at the beginning of the match, they're going back and forth with forearms, and I'm at home yelling, meat, meat, meat.
Yep.
But I couldn't get the message to the people in the crowd. I feel like this match, it feels like, and this whole run with the Ops has felt like my vindication about telling people Hobbs is him and he should be on TV every week. I was like, when he wasn't on TV, I was saying this on this show. You can go back and listen. How is Will?
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hobbs not on your TV every week. How is Will Hobbs not on your TV every week? How is Will Hobbs not? And I felt like he's done a lot over the especially last week when he just took him out with the World's Strongest Slam. But this week, it was just like, oh man, but if you put him in a singles match, how does he do? He kills it. And
he does exactly what you think.
Dude, you could have done that match in ring and pretty much told the same story and it'd be great. But this was Blood and Guts. This was the night for specialty matches. And he still came out looking strong because it literally took him getting thrown off the balcony through a bunch of electrical equipment for Hangman to be able to keep him down for 3. That is awesome. That's how Will Hobbs should be treated. If he's not facing like your top guys, he should be destroying people. And when he is facing your top guys, it should take everything in them to beat him. This is amazing. I was so happy just for this match. I thought Hangman killed it. I thought Hobbs killed it. I'm not saying either one was better. I thought they just told the perfect match for these two people wrestling against each other. And it's just like, dude, give me more Will Hobbs singles matches because he gets his character. That's the biggest compliment for me as an emotional type of wrestling fan is when you get your character. You get who you are. You know what I mean? Where it's like Hangman understands himself. Will Hobbs Hangman understands himself. They both fully fleshed out in that match. This was like the perfect match. Now, if you want to come back later and do an actual wrestling match in between them, I think it would work just the same because it's just like Hangman's he's a striker. He likes a nice physical match. Will Hobbs is gonna give you the physical match. So I just really enjoyed this match. I thought both men did themselves, and I'm watching this match like I told you so. Now again, I wasn't arguing against anybody. There was no one on the other side saying no, Will Hobbs is not that guy. But it just felt like he wasn't being used to his potential, to what he brings to your company. He brings something to your company that you don't really get from anyone else. So it's just like, it was like this match was unique, and I just, like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was super fun, and and then after the match, I guess you can talk about that now. So.
Yeah, after the match, Hangman was celebrating in the crowd. He gets into the ringside area, and he gets jumped by Shibata. Throws him into the guardrail. Joe's got a steel chair and then looks up at the cages for Blood and Guts, and they start lowering. And it looks like he's going to lock Hangman in and do his bidding. Eddie Kingston comes out to take out Shibata. Hook comes out as well to even the odds. They go back up the ramp. Cage comes down, and Hangman gets on a mic and goes, well, Joe, if you wanted me in a steel cage, all you had to do was ask, you dumbass. Says, leave Shibata at home, leave Hobbs in the hospital. At Full Gear, Samoa Joe versus the Hangman in a steel cage match. Made official. Just another way to make this match a lot of fun and physical and violent. Very, very excited they made this move. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a really, really fun match.
And I feel like when you have the two guys we got, Hangman, we got Samoa Joe. I think this is going to go back to the old cage matches that, before they got stylized in the different ways. And I'm not saying any bad, but when I was growing up, and when you got in a cage match, it wasn't the end of the feud, but it was like either there had been a lot of outside interference, or you got to contain all the violence. So you're gonna have this, and there's gonna be like blood, and there's gonna be all that stuff with Samoa Joe, and I am looking forward to it. I think this is the perfect match for them two, especially where Samoa Joe is, where Hangman is in their career. I do wish in my heart I had more doubt on the outcome. I wish I did. That's not right. That's not AEW's fault for us, being on the internet all the time. But I wish there was more doubt in the outcome. But I am really looking forward to these dudes basically killing each other for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like that's kind of all I got. Like I said, it was honestly pretty easy to understand. Not too many big spots. The big spots hit when they needed to. I thought it was really well done. Now after this match, we had Tony Schiavone introducing one of the legends of Greensboro, North Carolina, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and he starts talking about thinking TBS, calls that a great sign of the Mount Rushmore of Greensboro with him, Sting, Dusty, and Flair on it. He's talking about all this stuff and trying to tell a story, and then that's when he gets interrupted by FTR. So Floyd, your boys, our boys, I should say. What am I talking about? We are a FTR approved podcast. We are an FTR supporter podcast. But Floyd, if you would like to share exactly what took place here, because it seemed like some people weren't happy with what happened.
So what happened was, they had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, greatest babyface of all time. I truly believe that. He was babyface his whole career. It's amazing. So shout out to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He's out there and he's talking about his old times. And, FTR, Fear the Revival, the Rival, was a shout out to old school wrestling. So they come out to pay their respects to the legend, which is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This was amazing. I was like, FTR showing respect. They saved him for a couple beatdowns. FTR loves them some Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And then, Dax comes out and, he tells him, he's like, he was one of my early trainers. And then the Dax does what people don't like. He told the truth. He's like, I didn't really learn shit from you except to save my money, which is, let me believe, it's super important. And, and then he pointed out, because if you had saved your money, you wouldn't be dragging your old ass out here on a wrestling show to not wrestle. Again, truth hurts. It's not a pretty world we live in. Sometimes the truth hurts. And I know we live in an anti-truth world right now, but, truth hurts. He gave it to him. And then Ricky, respectfully asked Ricky Steamboat to realize his time has passed and get the hell out of FTR's ring, which is their ring. Any ring in any world, in any building, is FTR's ring. And they respectfully asked him to leave. He didn't necessarily. He still wanted that time to shine. He wanted to say, "I still got it." He was trying to get an "I still got it" chant. He does not still have it. FTR went to remind him that he did not still have it by dropping him head Spike Pile Driver. And for some reason, inexplicable reason, I will never understand this, Brodito, decides to butt their nose into FTR's business. They got a match on the 22nd. There was no reason for them to butt into FTR's business, trying. Dax like, you know what? I'm trying to teach Ricky Steamboat like Ricky Steamboat taught me. He's returning the favor. And Brodito comes and interrupts that. I didn't like it. FTR's in their hometown. This is, they are the time. Their time is now. The shine should have been on there. Ricky Steamboat's out here trying to soak up the spotlight and trying to get cheap pops, pointing out signs. That's annoying. That's why FTR was going to beat him up. And yeah, Brodito, blah, blah, Brodito, comes out there and do that. And that's why they're going to lose their title on the 22nd, because they don't know how to mind their own damn business. See, I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them because, you know, they're trying to be the heroes and, you know, they're going to lose their titles because of it. It's not good. So FTR out there doing their thing in front of their hometown, in front of North Carolina, showing everybody, you know, being the proud Carolina boys they are. And then, you know, Brodito tried to ruin everything, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I think it's the heel work from FTR right now. Like, they are just, these last few weeks, they are just being the most sniveling, just bastard heels. Like, and again, this just, I feel like, just continues to enforce what we were saying for years, which is that, listen, we're all good whenever fans are cheering FTR and they like them and, you know, they're baby faces and everything like that. We're all fine with that. This is FTR. It has always been FTR. This has always been how they do business best. And the fact that they are just like what they did with Bandito's Abuela and then what took place with Ricky Steamboat. I mean, this is the shit. This is the shit that me and Floyd love. Like, this is just that dastardly bastard heel shit that we love.
This is, I mean, like, when I talk about them being the best tag team ever, this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like, you know, them being cheered was great. It was. I was very happy for them. They sold a lot of shirts. They were really nice to a lot of people. Kissed a lot of babies, you know, did all that stuff. And they were great at it. They were great at it.
They were good.
But like I said, that's Jordan 45. Them as bad guys are Jordan 45. I mean, as good guys are Jordan 45. When they're heels, they're Jordan 23. All the way. There's no one on their level. Why are we even having a conversation? What are we doing? They're the best tag team when they're not. They're better when they don't give a fuck what fans think. Honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, they are better when they care about checks and championships.
That's all they care about. Yeah.
As a great champion once said, it's all this business is about checks and championships, and that's what they care about. So no, that is, you know, it's like the best thing ever. You know, I'm really enjoying this. I'm a kid when watching them again, because the reason I started liking FTR, and I told the story before, but most of you hear that, you know, well, they told me they're the greatest tag team ever and that I never heard of, and I believed them. But that being said, it wasn't that moment that they became my favorite tag team. When they stepped in the ring and they wrestled, and then they wrestled the exact style that I grew up loving. What kind of fucking coincidence is that? You know, like I always say this, Arn and Tully were my favorite tag team growing up. I know they weren't together that long, but when they were my favorite tag team. So when I saw this evolution of them, you know, it was, you know, it changed my life. And now when they're doing right now with them and Stoke, just killing it right now, it's just been my favorite thing to experience and watch. Dax actually was on a podcast this week. Forgot what it was called. Okay, there it is. Dax was on a podcast this week, and it was called Speaking with the Beyond the Bell / 5-star podcast. I posted the link on all Things Elite on Twitter. And, you know, he has some very glowing things to say about some of the tag teams in there. And he just had some different things to say. So I do think people should go ahead and check that out. But, yeah, this match, what happened now was just like, yeah, it's funny. It's like right now, last 2 weeks, FTR goes out and bothers someone. And then Brodito comes and gets in their business. Now, I know last week was Abuela, but FTR wasn't going to beat up their grandma.
Yeah.
And now Gravity jumps, you know, the thing in the case, you know, and Dax had to defend himself. So I'm very confused. Again, Brodito, They're going to learn their lesson. Stay out of FTR's business.
All you got to do.
Yeah.
Literally all you got to do. But
Yeah.
we go finally into the men's Blood and Guts match. Darby Allin, Roderick Strong. Darby Allin, the conglomeration versus the Death Riders. John Moxley, Claudio Pac, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta. And the first entrance of this one was Darby Allin and Wheeler Yuta. Let the little guys go at it. Like, let's literally have the smallest guys in the matches go at it. Tatted up skateboard, brought that thing back out to do some punishment and dragged it over the face of Wheeler Yuta. And then also proceeded to do his ollie as well. Orange Cassidy came in, and great moment where he breaks his own Ray-Bans and then proceeds to use it as a weapon against Yuta. Honestly, one of my favorite spots. Like, just a small thing like that. Just really, really enjoyed that little character spot. Darby and Orange Cassidy are putting the whooping on Yuta, and Daniel Garcia comes in later afterwards. They're waiting for Mark Briscoe, and he's in the back. He got jumped or something happened, basically. And Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly are like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? They then just go ahead and be like, you got to go out there. Roderick, go out there. Roderick Strong goes out there. He gets some work in. Tries to go to get a steel chair. Then Claudio comes in, and he immediately makes his impact felt as he proceeds to grab Darby for the big swing. Orange Cassidy jumps on his back, and he swings both of them at the same time. I was like, you've got to be kidding me with this dude's strength. He had two full-grown men just using their entire... Well, full-grown is a stretch. But he had two men on him, and he still swung them both. And then Moxley proceeds to come in after Kyle O'Reilly does, and Moxley's got his fork. And then the whole shebang happens with what you expect with this type of match. Mox stabbing people with forks. Blood is getting on the ropes. Like, blood's all over the place. He's just really laying in. Gives Daniel Garcia the fork to use for a little bit. Dragging in people's backs. And then they get the glass out again. And that's just when it just is pure violence from this point onward. The Daniel Garcia proceeds to do a straight up pile driver onto Darby onto the glass, who eventually then proceeds to climb up on top of the cage and throw himself. We came out of a break, and Darby threw himself from the top of the cage. As another entrant was about to come out, he does that and drops himself onto everybody. Pac proceeds to come out, and because of the fact they announced this actually during the match, they had Renee Paquette speaking over top of everybody, which honestly seemed like a weird thing. You know what I mean? I know they had to convey that he couldn't compete somehow, but I feel like you could have just done that from the moment that he got jumped, you know? Having Renee pop out on mic while the match is happening to say, hey, he can't wrestle, seemed like it didn't need to happen. You could have just done that in the video where you showed him hurt. You could have said, he can't go out. He can't go out.
I digress, Pac. I mean, they could have definitely did it that way, but I think they were trying to build up the anticipation.
Yeah, and then he wanted to come out.
To get that big pop when he came out.
And then eventually, he does hobble his way out, and when the cage is locked, he's got bolt cutters to get himself in there, so he does get himself in the match, and then he proceeds to get a table out there, and eventually he is in the match, and then him and Yuta go up to the top of the cage and are dueling chairs. He hits the J Driller from the top of the cage. That's then the point where Gabe Kidd comes out and grabs Darby Allin on the outside and takes him basically out of the match and proceeds to do something incredible. The next two spots, honestly, were the big moments. Orange Cassidy making fun of, using his ability against Daniel Garcia, throwing his hands in his pockets. And that's when Claudio's like, nope, we're not doing that. And then John Moxley staples Orange Cassidy's hands into his pockets. Absolutely, like, incredible work, honestly. Like, so vicious. Absolutely vicious shit. And then on the outside, Gabe Kidd still helping out. Pac gets two tables set out on the outside. Lights the sons of bitches on fire. And that's when Pac, from the top of the entrance ramp, throws Darby through 2 flaming tables. Fucking Christ. But the craziest thing, honestly, about the match, outside of, then another table spot happened when Pac got put through a table on a suplex off of the steps, through a table by Mark Briscoe. And then Yuta gets thrown through a table in the corner by Roderick Strong. And then the wildest thing that takes place is the fact that it's actually Kyle O'Reilly who flips off Moxley, bloodied and bruised. He's the one that makes Moxley tap out to win the match.
If only you listened to a show last week that told you exactly how this match was going to end.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works out.
And I'm like, I was like, this has been building. I mean, AEW pays off their stuff like this. This was been building as the only way for this match to end was Jon Moxley tapping out, right? I don't think I was being any type of
1,000%. But Kyle O'Reilly being the guy to do it.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly. That's the guy that almost tapped him out twice. I mean, it was perfect, right? And it feels like we're going to have to get Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley at,
I mean, at this point, he's got a big, a massive submission win over him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, no, this match was nuts. And like I said, I'm just going to shoot straight. I thought the first 20 minutes of this match was kind of but that last 10, 15
it kicked in.
Oh my God, it had me on the edge of my seat. And then, so Jon Moxley has him in, the move with the, and got the chain around the neck and he's going. And I was like, oh shit, both heel teams are going to go over. And then they got me because then Kyle O'Reilly does the reversal into a move and kept getting them into that ankle lock. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then he got him an ankle lock. Now, I got to give a note to my boy Excalibur. Excalibur, you are my favorite. You're my favorite color guy. And I don't know who's whispering in your ear. I don't know who runs it. But again, we're in the sicko nation here. You have to stop saying Jon Moxley tapping out is rare.
Mm-hmm. He's done it now,
3 times in the last 3 times in the last 5 months. This man has tapped out. It is no longer rare. It is just something that happens. If he gets put in a submission move, he will tap out. He tapped out to the Hangman last year.
Yep.
Okay, we can stop saying it now. Okay, it's not rare. This man taps. He's a quitter. Might be the reason he ends up getting kicked out of the Death Riders, that he's a quitter. Which, again, that's fine.
That's fine,
Stop saying, I guess and I might be the only one in the United States of America that him saying that bothers. I might be the only guy. But for me, for Floyd, for your sicko, please stop saying that. It's rare that this man submits. He submits all the time. Yes, 3 times in 5 months constitutes all the time. Yes, especially
it's more than a coincidence. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not rare anymore. So no, I just thought this match kicked ass. Darby Allin's fucking insane. Gabe Kidd, if I honestly say, if you don't see the aura that Gabe Kidd carries with him in everything he does, I don't know what to say. I mean, that man has big star energy. You know what I mean? When he came out, the looks on his face, he's like looking psycho when he's spraying the table with it. I just thought, I like, when it comes to, wrestlers and all that stuff, man, facial expressions and how you emote is very key to it, and I just think he does that really well. Evil Pac is on another level. He just I just really enjoy doing this to you, throwing you through the flaming table. I was like, if they do a Darby match in Full Gear, I don't know who they do it against. They could do it either one or whatever. Again, the Roderick Strong, I don't want to give it. I felt like his because everybody, when they get their entrance and they come out and they get their little heat moment, and they get to hit their moves and all that stuff, was my favorite part, was my favorite heat moment. The way that he does his backbreakers, and he did one where he put him in there like razor's edge and turned it into a cutter. Dude, Roderick Strong is just like one of those guys that he's almost like Claudio in the way. He's not as physically impressive, but once he starts going, you're like, oh my God, he's so fucking good. You know, and Roderick Strong is so fucking good. I really enjoyed that last closing session of this match. Claudio's the enforcer of all enforcers. If I was gonna say anybody that was if I was gonna say anybody that was like all to me, my like modern day Arn Anderson, which coming from me is a huge
compliment.
A huge compliment. There's nobody who fits that bill better than Claudio Castagnoli. He's just one of those guys. He's probably never gonna be the guy, but you always remember what he does in every show that he's in. So he's always solid. You need a great match, you can put him out there. You need an enforcer guy, you can put him out there. It's like no role that he can't do. Like I said, is he ever going to be the main number one face of your company? No, but you need people like him, utility guys that can do everything. Roderick Strong's another one. Kyle O'Reilly's another one. These utility guys that whenever you need something done, they can do it really well. And yeah, this match highlighted everyone's strengths, hid everyone's weaknesses, and did everything. I called it out early, but I still want to say shout out to Willa Yuta. Willa Yuta, dude. You give me AEW right now, Willa Yuta's never going anywhere. That dude is like just as consistent as anything. Name like a weakness in this game. Like he doesn't really have it, He might not look the way you want him to look, but he has no weakness in his game. I do want to, like I said, I want to just give a shout out to everybody on this thing because they did it, and Orange Cassidy's Orange Cassidy. And I feel like he's being hot enough again where if you wanted to heat him up for a title, you could. So I think that's cool. And this whole national title gauntlet match, I am really intrigued as in who's going to be that guy.
Yeah. I will say, though, with all that praise we just wrapped on Claudio Castagnoli, he should have more championships than just the single trios title. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I thought him and Yuta would have been the tag team champions by now. Now I've moved on. I do love me some Yuta. Yuta and Daniel Garcia would make a great tag team, but give me Pac and Claudio as an everyday tag team.
Yeah.
Give me them.
Seriously.
Give me them as an everyday tag team. They will kill it.
Give it.
Yeah.
They will 1,000% kill it. That was AEW Blood and Guts. Overall, hell of a fun show. And with a crazy show concept like this, with the 2 Blood and Guts matches and then the Falls Count Anywhere match sandwiched in, I got to imagine this show hit live even harder, like for sure. I feel like, as someone who went to the first Blood and Guts in Detroit, the second Blood and Guts, I think it was. It slaps. It slaps hard. So like live, especially this match goes crazy. So and the whole show does.
Yeah, and I definitely plan on being at the next one. I am actually leaving a lot of my schedule open next year. So because I've never been to a Blood and Guts, never seen one live, and I definitely want to do that next year. Hopefully it goes back to the normal time that it was every year, but we'll see. But I've heard people say this was like the best night of Dynamite ever. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to be like, hey, you didn't really enjoy it that much. Hey, if you enjoyed it that much, great.
Yeah, sure.
Like I'm not going to argue that you didn't enjoy it. It was great. I really enjoyed the show. So
it was a lot of fun. And that is everything we had for that show. For Collision, only one match has been announced. And the match that was announced was that we're going to have in Erie, Pennsylvania for Collision this Saturday night. We're going to have Mark Davis against Mark Briscoe, Battle of the Marks. And then we have a Next week, 3-hour-long Dynamite Collision special in Boston. First thing is that we know Kenny Omega is coming back. We're going to eventually see if the Young Bucks want to join the Don Callis family or not. And then Hangman Adam Page will be facing off in a singles match against Katsuyori Shibata. Should slap hard.
Yes, and as far as Collision, you might wonder why they haven't announced any matches. A lot of times after these Blood and Guts matches and things like that, people get hurt. So they want to see who they have healthy before they do matches on Saturday. So that's probably why they haven't announced matches. I can't say guaranteed that's not why, but I've seen it with like Casino Gauntlets after All In. I remember there was like, okay, we had to wait and see who was going to actually be available to wrestle before we put on a match. So today is Friday. So make sure you're following Tony Khan on Twitter because he'll probably put a couple matches out there, if not on Saturday. And you could almost be positive that the greatest tag team of all time, FTR, will be trying to avenge their tainted match last week against Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, y'all can say that happened. I don't think it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But try to get over that. I was distraught on Saturday. I watched FTR lose, disgusting, and Florida State got their ass kicked. All in within like an hour of each other. It was not a great Saturday night.
Yeah, it was not the case.
Yes.
Not the case. But that's all we have for those two, and there's only one piece of news we'll touch on before we close out this show.
Yeah, and I was seeing this everywhere. Jeff Jarrett is no longer the live events manager for AEW. I don't know who they moved into that role, but, Jeff Jarrett's been in this business a long time. Again, more than likely, he's going to still stay with AEW. He just seems like he's going to be there forever. Maybe they've put him in a new role. I mean, ticket sales as far as live events, and I don't know what this role did, right? But ticket sales in general to live events that are not pay-per-views have, been down across the board. But honestly, it seems like every company's struggling with that right now. So I don't know if you can say it's anyone's fault. I'm hoping this match helps build that buzz to getting people back to Dynamite. So, because I'll say this, Dynamite and Collision in your area, always an affordable ticket. Make sure
that's the thing, dude. I've been seeing TikToks of people like just sharing about how like, man, I got amazing seats for Dynamite or an AEW show. I didn't even need to pay that much.
Yeah.
And again, I think people that are making fun of that are just like, again, get a new line, get a new joke. Like you want to discredit the product in terms of what they're putting out there because you're not a fan. I got nothing but respect for you if you want to go that route, if you just don't like what they're putting on TV. But the constant thing about crowd sizes and shit like that, dude, why do you want your wrestling tickets to be more expensive?
Yeah.
Why do you want it to be to the point where you can't afford to go? Like, how is that a win for you, the consumer? Because you don't work for the company. You are a consumer, just like all of us. So you don't win when shit gets more pricey, just like we don't win when shit gets more pricey. So
I will tell anybody, I didn't stop going to WWE because I don't enjoy it. I like going to live wrestling shows. I went because they priced me out. Mm-hmm. It was 3 times as where I like to sit at any WWE event is I like to sit in the hundreds, right off the floor, as close as I can get in the hundreds. But I don't necessarily sit in the floor in WWE. I used to be able to go to WWE events for the most part in the hundreds for $100 to $150. I was fine with that. When they got super hot, it was $450 to $500. It was 3 times as much as I was paying it. That's why I stopped going to their shows.
Yeah, dude, me and Jared were trying to set up a time to go to this past year's WrestleMania in Vegas because like he can make it to Vegas easy from LA because he wanted to see Cena's last WrestleMania. Motherfucker, we couldn't afford to go to one night, let alone 2.
Yeah, it was in my section that I sat in. I think it was about $3,000 for a 2-night ticket, and I'm just like, dude. I mean, all the AEW shows that I've been through, if you take out All In, because I spent an exorbitant amount on All In, but if you take out All In, that $3,000 was the rest of my tickets to AEW for the rest of the year. And I don't just go to a few shows. No, I go to a lot of shows. That $3,000 would cover the rest of my year at AEW. So it was like, to me, it's just math. Like, I can have 15 steaks for this much, or I can have one steak for this much. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not,
Yeah.
It's just my math. I'm like, hey, as much as I do, like I said, I used to pay into the tribalism thing. I definitely got away from that because people go crazy online. Honestly, if you checked out my Twitter, I've kind of checked out on anything, really. But it's like, it's I don't feel like arguing with people. I don't feel like I've gotten over it. It's just like, I just want AEW to do well. I want WWE to do well. I want pro wrestling to do well. I want New Japan to do well. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of, not a lot. You got to think relative to my space where New Japan people hate AEW, and I hate that, but, can't control how people feel. But, I'm looking at this and just like, if you want value where you can take your family, have an affordable, and still be able to pay your rent at the end of the month. Yeah. How about you, or at the beginning of the month, make sure you check out AEW. I'm like, this is not an advertisement or bullshit. It's just facts. And I loved Drainmaker at Drain Bamager on Twitter posted a video from Mark Briscoe. AEW might have posted where he's like, you ain't gonna see this shit nowhere else besides here in AEW, baby. There's different levels to this shit. And I was just like, put that shit in my veins. I've been saying this for a while. Who is that guy in AEW right now? Who is that guy that is willing to say and tell you and be in it that AEW puts on the best professional wrestling product in the world? And you just don't get it enough. You don't get these enough. You need Hangman saying it. You need Mark Briscoe saying it. And you need to not give a fuck if they're pissing people off, because that was the energy that is AEW. We're going to put on the best product every year and week, and we don't give a damn. We don't give a damn what you think. We want you to love it. We know what we're doing is the best. And that's the energy Mark Briscoe had. And I was just like, oh, yeah, that's that much-needed shot in the arm. That's what people that don't watch wrestling need to hear. That people that aren't watching AEW, that when they're scrolling through their Twitter, scrolling through their Instagram, going through their Facebook, the reels and things, that reel pops up of Mark Briscoe talking confidently about his product. Don't put down the other product. I mean, I understand that is like a thing you don't want to do, is putting down the other product. I probably think you should, but don't put down the other product. Just say, hey, we're fucking awesome.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. But I think that's going to close us out, Floyd, on this episode of All Things Elite. Guys, we appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week. If you enjoy the podcast, we would appreciate it as well if you give us a rating, review, subscribing, downloading this show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to us on. We appreciate you guys. If you liked us even more, share us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. And also follow us on Twitter. We are at ATElitePod on Twitter, at Social Suplex are the guys that make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees and get a t-shirt. Sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links in the description of the show. I will pass it off to my buddy Floyd so he can take us home on this Blood and Guts edition of All Things Elite.
Yes, and this is going to be a theme probably for the rest of the year. I thank you all for listening, all that stuff. But we're heading towards that holiday season. I call it Christmas season. We're in Christmas season. This is a very lonely time for some people in the world as far as not having anywhere to go Thanksgiving and Christmas. If you're at work, you see your people, you see they might not have a place to go, hey, and you feel comfortable doing it. Again, life, it's about comfort. Invite them over. Invite them over to have a meal with you. Bring them a plate to their house, whatever you want to do. If you're not comfortable to come to your house, make sure they have a plate. Make sure they have a good to eat. That's what this season is about. It's about friends, family, taking care of each other, looking out for each other, having the spirit of giving. That's what, to me, that this Christmas season is about. So I'm saying, forget about all the presents and, all that stuff that people like, the commercialization of it, and just reach out to people. Reach out to your fellow person. Be a good person. Love on them as hard as you can. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.